Hello and welcome to Life Changing Tuition's Summer School Booklet 10. I'm Ethan and today we'll be going through an explanation of how to solve each question. So let's begin with comprehension. So organ donation, a lifesaver. So we're going to begin by reading through the extract. So every day new patients are diagnosed with diseases in their organs. If a patient's body can't heal itself, he or she can have new organs transplanted instead. Just as blood donation has been common for hundreds of years, volunteers can donate other parts too. In most countries, volunteers must register to donate. This simple act only takes a few seconds, it's painless and free, and it only affects the donor's body if he or she passes away. Usually, in some sort of untimely accident, however, most people never take the time to register. I believe there's an easy way to fix this. Some countries register all their citizens as organ donors by default. If someone does not wish to be an organ donor, he or she can withdraw from the program. This dramatically raises the number of potential organ donors. Take Germany and Austria. For example, these two neighbouring countries are similar in almost every way, but when it comes to organ donation, the difference is clear. Only 12% of Germans are registered organ donors. However, compared to over 99% of Austrians. If more countries switch to an opt-out system for organ donors, we could save thousands of lives each year. Freedom of choice could still be protected by making it easy and free for objectors to withdraw for any reason. We could create a world where no curable patients die on donation waiting lists any longer. This is a problem the world can solve easily, and we should do it today. So, question 1. According to the author, registering to become an organ donor is painful and dangerous, or B, difficult and affordable, C, simple and free, or D, immoral and justifiable. So, this will be simple and free because he said it here. Here, painless and free, which means the same thing as simple and free. So that makes our answer for question 1, C. Next, 2. As used near the end of the passage, which of the following is an example of an object? So this will be A. So B, with Brittany, she's saying she won't participate, but she also doesn't stop them. An objector is someone that will also stop what's happening. So that makes Jason, in A, the objector. 3. An appeal to tradition is a fallacy in which an author or speaker assumes that something is correct simply because it has been done for a long time. Why does the author of this passage make an appeal to tradition? Okay, so let's go back to the passage. So this will be in A, so where they say it's been common for hundreds of years. So that's the appeal to tradition, which is in paragraph 1. And that makes the answer to question 3, A. Okay, 4. One of the main weaknesses of this author's argument is that A, she does not provide specific examples to support her statement. B, she does not explain why opt-in donor registration is a problem. C, she does not examine any counter-arguments against universal donor registration. Or D, she reduces her opponents to insulting caricatures. So question 4 is going to be C, because we can see she never includes a counter-argument, so she's never discussing the other perspective. She's only showing her view, so she's not showing why her view is better than other opinions. So 5. According to this passage, Germany and Austria have a donation registration rates of something. So Germany and then Austria. So Germany here is 12%, and then Austria is 99%. So that means that question 5 is going to be D. Just note that it says respectively, which means it is saying Germany first and then Austria. Although those are the only 2 correct numbers out of our options. Okay, 6. Which of the following pieces of evidence, if true, would best support the author's argument? So A, after Argentina switched to an opt-out registry, the Argentine wait list for donor kidneys was cut in half. B, some Orthodox Jewish rabbis consider any form of organ donation to be a sin. Or C, France recently switched to an opt-out registry. The effects of this charge are inconclusive so far. Or D, there is currently no strong political movement urging Germany to switch to an opt-out registry. So remember, we're supporting the author's argument, so it needs to be a statement that aligns with their views. So what you could say here is that A would fit this because it's showing that the author is encouraging opt-out registry, and Argentina's used this and it's been effective because it's been cut in half. The waiting lists are shorter. So that means that the answer to question 6 is A because it backs up the point and it puts it in a more positive viewing. So now we're going to move on to the next comprehension. So zoos, good for animals. So let's read the extract. Millions of people around the world visit zoos. Over 100 countries in the world have zoos. The United Kingdom alone has over 50 zoos. Zoos give people the chance to see animals that they would never come across on a day-to-day basis. While many people love to visit zoos, some think that keeping animals in cages is unfair. These people believe that animals would be better off if they were living in their own natural environment. Although some people do see zoos as cruel, there are several ways that zoos actually help animals. Of course, not all zoos are good places for animals to live. Some zoos keep their animals in small cages or pens. Animals trapped in small spaces do not have enough space to exercise, play, or live comfortably. These animals can become depressed, refusing to eat or interact with others. They can also become aggressive, snapping at zookeepers, or fighting with the other animals in their pens. Some zoos feed their animals the wrong kinds of food, or do not properly care for them when they are sick or hurt. These kinds of zoos are not beneficial for the animals. On the other hand, there are many good zoos that treat their animals properly. Good zoos provide lots of space for animals. They make sure that the animals' pens or cages look similar to where they would live in the wild. They provide things that will entertain the animals, such as toys, places to climb, or swimming holes. They allow the animals to interact safely with others of their kind, and they provide high-quality food for the animals and plenty of clean water. They only employ highly trained staff members who are experts at caring for animals. One of the main ways in which good zoos help animals in educating people, zoos help people to learn about and appreciate animals. The more educated people are about animals, the more they will want to learn to protect them. Most people do not have the opportunity to see a lion or an elephant up close. Seeing an animal in person is a much more moving and memorable experience than seeing one on television or in a book. People who get a chance to see these animals face to face are much more likely to participate in wildlife conservation. Zoos also help to save endangered species. Some endangered animals' natural habitats can be unsafe because of hunters, predators, food shortages, diseases, or other dangers. In zoos, these animals are safe, well fed, and get good medical care. Many zoos also donate money to aid endangered animals in the wild. The money helps to preserve the animals' native habitats and to educate local people about protecting the animals. Although not all zoos are perfect, Responsible zoos provide many advantages for animals. By educating people about wildlife conservation and protecting endangered species, zoos can be a force for good in the lives of animals. So, question 1. As used in paragraph 2, the antonym for beneficial is A. Broken, B. Dull, C. Harmful, or D. Difficult. Well, something that's beneficial will help you, and the opposite of something that's helpful is something that's harmful, something that causes danger to you. So, question 2. According to the passage, good zoos do all the following except, so we're trying to find the one thing that a good zoo does not do. So A, feed their animals at least twice a day. B, educate people about animals. C, donate money to help wildlife. Or D, provide animals with plenty of space. So the one thing that, a bad zoo would do would be... we're looking at what the passage mentions now. So the passage mentions that it will educate people, donate money, and provide space, which means that it's going to be A, because they don't specify that the animals need to be fed twice a day. Next is 3. According to the passage, seeing an animal face to face at a zoo, A, is only a positive experience if it's a good zoo. B, makes someone more likely to to want to help protect wildlife. C, keeps both people and animals entertained. Or D, is not as easy as seeing one on television or in a book. So for 3, seeing an animal face to face will make someone more likely to want to protect wildlife. So that's where it says that it will make people want to contribute to wildlife conservation more. Okay, 4. Which of the following pieces of information would fit best in paragraph 5? So, A. Some endangered animals have difficulty finding mates and breeding in the wild. These animals often have an easier time mating and producing young in woods. Zoo breeding therefore helps to increase the number of endangered animals. Or B. Bad zoos do not always make sure that animals' cages are clean. Living in dirty cages can cause animals to get many different types of diseases. Animals that live in the wild do not get these same diseases. Or C. Although animals do not play with toys in the wild, good zoos may give their animals balls, mirrors, or other things to help keep them happy and active. Wild animals may not have these same sorts of things, but most enjoy the entertainment that they provide. In the United Kingdom, in the United Kingdom, zoos do not properly take care of their animals. Zoos that do not properly take care of their animals may be shut down by the government. The owners of these poorly run zoos can be fined for animal cruelty and may even go to jail. So now we're going to find paragraph 5, because that's the paragraph that the extract that the answer needs to go into. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, 4, and 5. So remember that each indentation represents a new paragraph. So this paragraph is talking about endangered species, it's talking about caring for animals and just being caring and contributing to wildlife conservation. So question 4. Well, here we're talking about endangered animals, and it's talking about how zoos protect endangered animals, which means that 4 is going to be A. Okay, next, question 5. The main purpose of the passage is to A. Explain why keeping animals in zoos is cruel. B. Show readers why bad zoos are harmful to animals. C. Discuss the pros and cons of zoos. Or D. Convince the readers that some zoos are helpful to animals. Well, this one, so yeah, it is talking about how they're helpful. The main purpose would be that, because it's showing how zoos help animals rather than how they harm. That's the main message. Okay, next, proofreading. So identify spelling mistakes, if any. So let's begin here. So we're going to read through the passage, and each time we identify a spelling mistake, we'll just stop and then write it in. So a desert. Okay, first one. So desert in the context of like the place with lots of sand, rather than like desert, is spelt with one S. So here is desert. So that's the first one. A desert fox has large ears to help it cool down in the searing heat. Okay, 2. To avoid being seen, Liam dragged himself across the floor on his stomach. Okay, stomach. So stomach should be spelled as Stomach. 3. Rosie nervously checked the clock. She was only 4th in the queue. This one is no mistake with this one. Okay. Right. I see. Okay, no. There is. So 4th, because it's the number, it should be spelled as Fourth. Okay, so that one is Fourth. Next is 4, but also just for the 4th one. So remember, 4th, when it's written as Forth, usually means like a direction. So it is confusing, and they're very similar, because 40 is spelled without U, but this one, when you're saying 4th, it's with the U, so Forth, and this is often confused. So let's go on to 4. My favourite food is called rosti. It's made from lots of grated potatoes. Okay, so this one is potatoes. So potatoes should be spelled as Potato Potatos. So potatoes. And then 5. I could happily, so happily is spelled incorrectly here. Happily should be spelled Happily. I could happily spend all afternoon creating shapes out of the clouds. Okay, 6. We wrote a class play based on the Greek myth about Pandora's box. So this is myth. Okay. The local town committee have decided to organise a special winter fair. So this one is committee. Committee should be spelled with Committee. So committee has double M, double T, and double E. Okay, 8. Bicycles are fine, but I prefer my grand's old 3-wheeled tricycle. This one has no mistakes. No mistakes in this one. None. Okay, now we're identifying spelling mistakes in the passage. So, Hamad had always been a keen amateur photographer ever since he was young. Okay, so this one is amateur. It should be spelled Amateur. Okay, next, 10. He had been obsessed with taking pictures of the world around him. His greatest, this one is none. Okay, his greatest aspiration should be spelled with A-S-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N. So A-S-P-I-R-A-T-I-O-N. Okay, so aspiration. Yeah. Okay, 12. After saving painstakingly, Hamad had bought a flight to Iceland to finally fulfill his. So this one should be painstakingly. So painstakingly. Just checking. Yeah. Okay. So painstakingly is spelled P-A-I painstakingly. Okay. I'll just rewrite that. Painstakingly. Okay. To fulfill his dream. On seeing the extraordinary should be spelled as extraordinary. And then 14 was in awe. They were so magical that they seemed to defy explanation. That should be explanation. Like this. Explanation. E-X-P-L-A-N-A-T-I-O-N. So explanation. Okay, next. So now we're going to be identifying punctuation and capital letter errors. So we're going to do the same thing. So Samantha was put in charge of organising the school's winter fair. So this one, annual winter fair. This one has no mistakes. Okay, 2. Each plant was put in its own container and then placed into a large square-shaped bucket. This one is so larger, comma, square-shaped bucket, because there are 2 adjectives for the bucket, and that means that a comma needs to be used to separate them. Okay, 3. Francis leaned over the table and whispered into his ear, "I'm watching you." So this one, there should be a comma. There should be a comma after the ear rather than a full stop. So into his ear, comma, "I'm watching you." 4. The wall was painted in multiple colours: green, blue, red, yellow, and orange. Okay, so this one, green should be lowercase. And there should be a comma as well. Also, there should be a full stop after the 1 and 3. Okay. So green, blue, red, yellow, and orange. Okay. The show hadn't, apostrophe. The show hadn't even begun before there was a loud commotion in the crowd. Okay. 6. Simone and Alina were shocked when they discovered what was in the box. A map. Okay, this one, no mistakes with this one. Okay. 7. My youngest daughter graduated from the University of Oxford today. This one is capital U in university, so the University of Oxford. So next is 8. Victoria couldn't should have an apostrophe. Yeah, couldn't should have an apostrophe. Wait to get home and spend Christmas Eve with her family. Eve should have a capital letter. So Eve, because it's a special day, it's a name, so it should be capital E. And then 9, the police officer's brother's wife had been operating as an undercover agent. The police officer's undercover. Police officer's brother. Okay, this one has no mistakes. Okay, 10. William's dog, who had been behaving very well, received a number of tasty treats. This one is comma after well because he's separating the clauses. Okay, identify any punctuation or capital letters, if any, so the same. This one is just with a passage. So, 11. This year's summer holiday was definitely eventful. The traffic on the way to... This one has... This year's apostrophe on the way to the airport was horrendous, and as we were walking through the airport doors, this one, well, you don't need the hyphen between that, so just airport doors, so nothing in between. We heard the message, final call for the flight to Madrid. Madrid should have a capital M. That was our flight. We raced to the airport, getting lost several times on the way, and... So this one is... We raced through the airport, getting lost several times on the way. This one is no mistakes. Yeah. Okay. And then 15 eventually made it onto the plane. When we arrived in Spain, things got worse. And then that's a semicolon. This has no mistakes too. Okay. One of our suitcases had gone missing. Dad left his passport on the bus. This can have a semicolon afterwards, lots of semicolons. We couldn't find our hotel, and my sister managed to get severely sunburned. That is no mistakes. Okay. Well, exclaimed Mum, after a day like today, I definitely need this holiday. Well should have a speech mark before it. Okay, next is choose the best words in the short passage. So we're going to read through and just circle. So Fred something bolt upright. So Fred seated bolt upright. So Fred seated bolt upright. Next, 2. Something him up. So something had woken him up. And then 3. So Fred seated bolt upright. Something had woken him up. Okay, this is a passage. So Fred seated bolt upright. Something had woken him up, but he wasn't sure what it was. However, or another word, being cocooned in a warm bed. So this one is going to be, despite being cocooned in a warm bed, Fred couldn't stop shivering. A dark shape flitted across the ceiling. In terror, Fred tried to scream for help, but nothing would come out of his mouth. Okay, now choose the best words in the short passage. The manager said they something in the last match. Well, did well in the last match. Ask your mum if something can go to the cinema, she said. Or if we can go to the cinema. They weren't sure the rain would stop. Whether the rain would stop. Now remember, whether as in the question whether or not always has H, like who, what, or why. But then whether as in the climate has WEATHER. So remember the WH. So WHETHER. And then weather is in climate is WEA. Okay, 12. And that's a very common mistake. So 12. This is the something of the two dolls. This is the more beautiful of the two dolls. So more beautiful. Okay. 13. The rider slipped and lost the something. This will be, lost the rein. So it's like the reins of a horse. 13. That is something so far as I'm concerned. This will be, that is inappropriate as far as I'm concerned. So inappropriate. 15. Okay, so now choosing the best word in the passage. So I'll have something ones, please, said Mr. Parker as he pointed. So I'll have those ones, please, said Mr. Parker as he pointed towards two indulgent cream cakes in the bakery's window. I'll buy some buns too, since they're on special offer. Okay, and that is best word. So that's best word. Okay, 8. So circles and bearings. So label the 4 boxes in the diagram below. Okay, so this line will be the diameter. So diameter. This line will be the radius. And this is all just knowledge. And this line, is not perfect, but that is the circumference. And then, this is pointing to the point, so that will be the centre. So the centre point. I'll just quickly clear that out to show you. This is the centre point, this part. Okay. So, 2. A coin has a radius of 16 millimeters, so find the diameter. Well, 2 times the radius gives you the diameter. So it's like if this was your circle, this is your radius, and then you add 2 of it, you get the diameter. That was the centre. So all you have to do is 16 times 2, which equals 32 millimeters. So the answer to question 2 will be 32 millimeters. Okay, just going to clear this space. And then a hula hoop has a diameter of 106 centimeters. Find the radius of the hula hoop. So here we just halve it. So 106, we can divide by 2. That gives us 53 centimeters. And remember to follow the same unit. So millimeters, centimeters. You got to make sure you remember it. Oh, just going to clear this. Okay, so now move. Oh, okay. So Sven measures the radius, circumference, diameter of a circle. Circle the largest. Well, in any circle, the circumference will be the largest. Okay. Next. Some small circles and large circles fit exactly inside a rectangle. So work out the radius of the small circle. Okay, so first we have to find the total length. So that will be 7.8 multiplied by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you multiply it by 5, so 8 times 5 is 40. That's the 7 times 5 is 35, plus 4 is 39. Then you add back your decimal place, so this is 39 centimeters long. Then you have to divide that by the 6. So 39 divided by 6. Well, if you do 6 multiplied by... if you do 6 multiplied by 6.5, I believe. Let's just test that. times 6 is 30. 6 times 6 is 30. Yep. Okay, 39. So each of these will be 6.5. Well, okay, it asks for the radius. So the diameter will be 6.5, but then the radius will be 6.5 divided by 2, which is 3.25. So the answer to question 5 will be 3.25 centimetres. 3.25 centimetres. Now, don't forget your unit. Oh, we'll just go back to that. Alright, move here. Okay, next we move on to bearings. Okay, so bearings. Question 1. Give these directions of travel as 3-figure bearings. Alright, so north will be 0. So 0, 0, 0 degrees. Southeast, well, if I'll just draw this out. So say this is north. Southeast will be, well, this is then. So this is south, that's north then. And we're calling this east and west. Well, southeast will be this. So you're adding this 90. And remember, you're always going clockwise with bearings. And then you're also adding the 45. So you do 90 plus 45, so that'll be 135 degrees. Alright, west. Well, west will be 90 plus 90 plus 90, so 90 times 3. So that's 270 degrees. Next, northeast. Well, northeast is this direction, so it'll be 45 degrees. Remember, it's 3-figure bearings, so you add on the 0 at the front. East will be 90 degrees. And then southwest is this direction. Southwest, northeast. So southwest is 90 plus 90 plus 45, so that's 180 plus 45, which gives us 225. South is 180 degrees, because it's just this part. Northwest is this direction, northwest. So northwest is going to be 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 45, which is 315 degrees. Remember to add on your degrees because the units is always important to remember. So 2. Diagram not drawn accurately. Work out the bearing from B to A. Okay, so remember, this is bearing from B to A. It's not A to B. Because A to B is different to B to A because you're going in the clockwise direction. So what we're looking at here is, well, we see that A is 50. So what we have to do, because we know that this will be a triangle, this is 90. So we do 90 plus 50 is 140. Then we know that this is 90. So what we have to do is then do 180 minus 140, which is equal to 40 degrees. So we know that this area here is going to be 40 degrees. So then what we got to do is B from A. I just realised. Okay. So B from A. Okay. Well, that's slightly more simple. So we know that this is a straight line. So what you're doing is this area, which is 180 degrees, and then you're adding your 50, so 180 plus 50. Much more simple. 230, so 230 degrees. Okay, 3. Gregory is at O, and there are 2 roads, one towards A and another towards B. B is due south of O, so 180 degrees. Gregory walks towards A, so on what bearing does he walk? Okay, so that will just be 180 minus 115, which equals 65. So 65 degrees. And then Joshua is at A and walks towards Gregory. So on what bearing does he walk? Well, Gregory is at O. So you can draw a vertical line there, and this will be 180 degrees, and then you add on this part. So we just got to know the angle of that bottom part, which is going to be, well, since the top is 65, and you can also look at co-interior angles for this. It means that it's going to be, so since this is 65 degrees, we can say that it's going to be the 180 degrees from here. It'll be the 180, and you're adding on, well, we know that this will then be, well, okay, that will then be 115 because of co-interior angles. So then our answer will just be 245. Yeah. So because we know that these are then like opposite, so that's 65. So then it's 245. So what you call that is alternate. Yeah, so that's an alternate angle. Yeah, alternate angle. Okay, so yeah, and then these co-interior angles add to 180. Alternate angles are equal, and then you can also have corresponding angles too. But yeah, this will then be 245 degrees. Okay, next we have 4 on the map. Shows the position of 2 towns. A, find the compass point of Ballyclare from Antrim. So we'll just do that first. So, compass point of Ballyclare from Antrim. So what we got to do is, well, we take this. This is our north point. Okay, so let me take this. So we're finding the angle of this. So with this one, okay, compass point. So it's not asking for the any degrees, any number. So you don't need to use a compass for this. So that'll be okay. But it's asking for the compass point. So all you have to say is that for A, well, Ballyclare from Antrim is going to be, well, southeast. So yeah, Ballyclare from Antrim. So so this one is going to be, so Ballyclare from Antrim. Yeah, so that'll be So yeah, you're going from Antrim to Ballyclare. So yeah, it's going to be southeast. Okay, and then Antrim from Ballyclare. So you're going to Antrim from Ballyclare. So it'll be the opposite, so northwest. Okay, so that's northwest. And then next is Venn diagrams. Okay, Venn diagrams. So there are 80 students in year 11. 9 students study French and German. 35 students only study French, and 2 students do not study French or German. So complete the Venn diagram. So since 9 students study French and German, that'll be 9 in the middle. 35 only study French, so that'll be 35 here. And then 2 students do not study French or German, so they'll go outside of the circles, but inside the rectangle. But then we know that there's 80 students, so it means we're going to do 80 minus 9 minus 35 minus 2, which leaves us with 34. So that means 34 will go here. So that's an important thing to do with Venn diagrams. You've got to make sure this will be 34 too. So you've got to make sure that your total of inside the rectangle is equal to your total there. So, 2. At a wedding, the guests may have ice cream or custard with their dessert. The Venn diagram shows information about the choices the guests made. So how many guests had custard? So this is then going to be asking your 34, and you've got to add on your 9, which means that you're going to get 43. And then how many guests had ice cream and custard? So ice cream and custard will be 51 plus 9 plus 34. So that will be... had ice cream and custard. So ice cream and custard is different to ice cream or custard. So and means they had both. So this will be 9. And then how many guests went to the wedding? So this is just adding 13 plus 51 plus 9 plus 34, which is going to equal to 107. 107. Okay. 3. Jennifer asked 80 people which sport they enjoy from football, hockey, and rugby. So how many people enjoy all 3 sports? Well, that'll be 31. How many people enjoy football and hockey but not rugby? So that is going to be 14. Because you're looking at where the circles cross over. And then how many people enjoy football and rugby but not hockey? So football and rugby but not hockey. So football and rugby, no hockey. That's going to be 17. And then work out which sport is enjoyed by the most number of people. So that's just adding them all up. That's football. Okay, 4. In a company, there are 110 workers, 90 like tea, 41 like coffee, and 25 like tea and coffee. So work out how many workers like neither tea or coffee. So there's 90 workers, 41 like coffee. Okay, so here what you got to do is you got to take your 90 and you also then take your 41. So 90 and 41. So okay. So okay. Okay, how we can do this is just draw out a Venn diagram. Right, so you have tea and coffee. So tea, coffee, and then outside we'll have the like neither. So we know that 25 like tea and coffee. So we got to make sure that this tea circle is filled by 90. So what you got to do is 90 and subtract your 25, which equals 65. And then the other circle will be 41 minus 25, which is 16. So what you got to do then is 65 plus 25 plus 16, which is equal to 106. So 106, and then you do your 110 because that's your total minus 106, which equals 4. So the answer to that one will be 4. Okay, next we move on to spatial reasoning, 3D blocks, and rotation. Okay, so here we're going to be looking at, well, which blocks on the right can be put together to make the test shape. So this one is about visualizing it and knowing how the shapes piece together. So for question 1, we see that there's going to be one long rectangle with a space of 3, you could say, and then one shorter rectangle with, well, 2 cubes placed together, it looks like. And then here there could be an L shape. So that means that the answer will be B. Okay, 2. So there is one long rectangle, one shorter rectangle, but then below this, the rectangle is being held up. So we could say that there'll be a shorter rectangle there as well, or there could be a square, a cube, or this could be an L shape, and then this is a cube, and that's a short rectangle, which would mean it's B. Okay. Then 3, we can see that there's a line here, so there will be a cube there, a short rectangle, and then a long rectangle, and that is our option 4. Okay. Okay. The answer is going to be B. So this one is slightly different to how it may appear at first. So there's a T shape under here, and then a short rectangle at the top. So at first you might think, yeah, there is a long rectangle and then short rectangle in the cube, but no, this one is slightly different. Okay, 4. So 4, we know that there's definitely an R shape there. And then we can look at the shapes with the R shape. And then we can see that our shape needs to also have a short rectangle. And then it has, yeah, so looking at that, it means that the only option would be D. And then this is another short rectangle too. Okay, 5. So we have one long rectangle, and then this is 2 other long rectangles, which would mean... Ooh, no. Ooh. 5. 5 is going to be... No, well, 5 will be A. Okay, so 5 has the one long rectangle, and then this is going to be the short one. Then there's going to be a cube there, and then a long one there. Okay, so yeah, these ones, so they're trying to make it appear as though they're something else or another combination of blocks, whereas they're actually, you know, like this. So it really makes you think about how it would piece it together. Okay, next is rotations. Okay, work out which 3D figure has been rotated to make the new 3D figure. Okay, so here are our options in the top grey box. And then we have to go through each of these numbers, see which one is a rotated version. So for number 1, well, this one is going to be B. And that's because it's been rotated. It's been rotated like... It's been rotated... well, first it's been rotated 180 degrees. And then it's been rotated 90 degrees forwards. So it's been flipped, basically. How you tell is that this has the 3 blocks there, which is present here. You have one shorter rectangle there, one shape at the back, one cube at the back, a short rectangle there, which is here, and then it all matches up, it's all in place. And that's how you tell. Okay, so then 2. So 2 will be F. So you can see the cube there, the short rectangle there, and the short rectangle there, and the place they are in relation to each other is all the same. So 2 will be F. 3 is, well, there's the long rectangle here, which is here. There are the 2 cubes, and then the one short cube there. So 3 is going to be C. 4 is, well, 4 is A. So there is the cube here, which is the same as the cube here. Then there's the long rectangle, long cuboid, cube, the 2 cubes are there, which means 4 is A. And then 5, well, you have the long rectangle, 2 cubes, and then another rectangle, which means that 5 is D. So you can see that's all here. Yeah, it matches up. So this, okay. So 5 is going to be D. Next is 6. Well, 6 is E. The cubes match up there. And they're all in the same position as each other with the long rectangle. So 6 will be E. And that is 3D rotation. Okay, so next we move on to VR relationships and similar words. So DE is to FG as ST is to something. So here we need to see how they go from D to F. So D to F is +2. So D is, so we can just write +2. And then E to G is also +2. So it's all been +2. So S +2 is, well, U. T +2 is V. So the answer to question 1 is going to be UV. Oh, they've given a new number line each question. That's very good. Okay. So, we went from S to U, and then U to, and then T to V. Okay, next. So, PO is to LA as ML is to something. So, P to L will be, well, -1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have O to A, which is, O to A will be, well, that could be plus or minus. Okay, well, how we can do it is, okay, well, we'll look at the subtraction. Okay, no, we'll do this. Okay, so it's +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then what? 12. Okay, so we have so we have -4 plus 12. So now we're going to apply the same thing. So m minus 4 will give us 1, 2, 3, 4. So m minus 4 will be I. Okay, and then L plus 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 12 will be X. So that one will be IX. Very big amount to add, but yeah, IX. x. Okay. Next, question 3. EA is to CX as AC is to something. So E to C is -2. A to X is minus, well, 1, 2, 3, -3. So A -2 is Y. C -3 is Z. So question 3 is YZ. Next is 4. So M to N is +1. L to O is +3. So P +1 is Q. And Q +3 is 1, 2, 3, T. So 4 is QT. 5, so GM to DQ is to DQ as JI is to something. So G to D is -1, 2, 3, so -3. And then M to Q is +1, 2, 3, 4, so +4. Next, so J -3, 1, 2, 3 is G, and then I +4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, so GM. Okay, 6. YA is to BX as XZ is to something. So this one we are looking at. Okay, so Y to B will be +1, +1, 2, 3, so +3. Then A to X, so 1, 2, 3. So then -3. So +3 and then -3. So X +3 is 1, 2, 3, A. And then Z -3 will be 1, 2, 3, C. So 6 will be Z -3 is 1, 2, 3, W. AW. Okay, next we move on to synonyms. Okay, so synonyms. We have question 1. So this will be loathe and hate. So yeah, these both mean the same thing. So yeah, when you loathe something, you're hating it, like you're detesting it, you dislike it. Okay, 2. So we have odor, outdoors and peculiar, smell, perhaps, and country. So this one will be odor and smell. Next is 3. Nocturnal, price and penetrate, and then evening, pierce and pushed. This one will be penetrate and pierce. So this one is where you're like making a hole in something. Okay, 4. Prohibited, allow and enhanced, and then entrap, forgot and forbidden. So this one will be prohibited and forbidden. Okay, 5. Recluse, reveal and reluctant, and unwilling, opening and opposite. This one will be reluctant and unwilling. 6. Doubtful, deliberately and decided, and response, tragically and purposely. This will be deliberately and purposely. So this is when you do something with intention. So like you mean to do it. 7. Eventually, usually and finished, and then ending, finally and beginning. So if this one will be eventually and finally. And then 8, so clearing, abnormal and ordinarily, and then normally, finally and moment. This one is ordinarily and normally. And then 9, so adhere, abrupt and adopt, and then slide, sudden and by. This one will be abrupt and sudden, so this is something that happens suddenly, so quite unexpectedly. Okay, so that is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Summer School 10. I'll see you next time. Okay, so let's start with Maths Section 1. So question 1, how many faces does a cuboid have? Now, let's remember that a cuboid looks like this. It's like a 3D rectangle. And there's 1, 2, 3, and then at the back, 4, 5, and 6 faces. So the answer to this for question 1 is 6. And that will be E. And then next, question 2. So which of the following numbers can go in the shaded area of the chart? So that's here. So they need to be both an even number and a multiple of 7. So let's eliminate what it can't be. Let's first go through which numbers are the multiples of 7. So that'll be 42 and yeah. So that leaves us with the answer of 42, and then it's also an even number. So the answer will be A, 42. 3. What's 1/3 of 72? So that's like doing 1/3 times by 72. What you're doing is then 72 dividing by 3. So let's do this with the bus stop method. How many 3's going to 7? 2 with 1 remainder, and then there's 4 here. So the answer to question 3 is 24. 4. Guy is a football coach and is trying to measure attendance over the course of the summer holidays, broken down into 6 weeks. The graph below shows how many football players attended each week. How many more players attended in week 2 than in week 4? So week 4 is here and week 2 is here. Week 4 had 10 people and week 2 had, that'll be, well, we can split this into 1, 2, 3, 4. So week 2 is going to have 24. Yeah, we'll call this 24. So the difference is 14. So the answer is D. Okay, next. So this actually didn't have any question 5 or 6, so we'll go to 7 here. Although, oh no, this is, oh in fact, no. 5, 6, yeah, these questions, I think this is 5, and then this is 6, and here we have 7, oh no, so we do have 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, the temperature is 18.2 degrees Celsius and falls by 1.5 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature? What temperature is it after it drops? So we have 18.2 and we're subtracting 1.5. So here we carry 1 and make that 8 to 7. So then 12 minus 5 is 7, and then 7 minus 1 is 6, and then we have a 1. And then we add in our 1 decimal place, so the answer is 16.7. And then 6, so 96 divided by something is 16. So how we find the answer to this is we find how many 16s go into 96. So it's 96 divided by a number gives us 16. So you can say 16 multiplied by that number is 96. So what we're going to do is, well, first we can try out the process of elimination. So first 16 times 7. So we know this is going to be ending at 2, because 6 times 7 is 42. So it's not this. Next, 16 times 9. Well, 6 times 9 will equal to 54. So we can also cross this out. Then there's 7.5. Nope. But then 5. Nope. But then 6. You know that 16, or at least 6 times 6 is 36. So let's try this out. We'll have 36 here, and then 9. So that leaves us with the answer as E, 6. Next is 7. So the contents of scale B weigh 150% more than the contents of scale A. How much do the contents of scale B weigh? So it's 150% more than the contents of scale A. A has 500 grams, and then B is 150% more. So what you're doing is multiplying by 1.5 essentially. Or you could even call that 3/2. So how we're going to find the answer to this is find Well, 50% first, which is 250, so then you do 500 plus 250, which is 750, and then what we're doing is 150% more. So then you're also adding 100%, which is 500, so then 750 plus 500 will give us 0, 5, and 12. So 1,250 grams. But then our answer is in kilograms, which means it's then going to convert into 1.25 kilograms. And then 8. So Layla is 1.53 meters tall and wants to wear high heels that are 9 centimeters high. How tall is Layla when she wears the heels? So 1.53 meters is what we have here. And then we also have 9 centimeters. 1.53 meters is equivalent to 153 centimeters. So if we do 153 plus 9, it will equal to 162. So then our answer for question 8 will be 1.62 meters if we convert that back into meters. Then 9. Which of the following digital alarm clocks shows 7:45 in the evening? So 7:45, well, we know it can't be 7:40 or 6:40 because those are 20 minutes away from the next hour. And it will end in 45 because it's 7:45. 7:45 means it's going to be 7, so it has to be 7:45. That means that the answer to question 9 is C, because it's also in the evening. Next is question 10. How much money is shown in the coins below? So we have £1, 2p, £1, 1p, 50p, £2, 2p, 1p, £1, 50p, and £2. So what we're going to be doing with this is we're going to write down the total value and count the number of coins that are the same. So we have £1, £1, £1, £1. Oh no, not one, not here. So we have 1, 2, 3 pounds there. Then we find our £2. So we have 1, 2, £2, so £4. And then 1, 2, 2p's. 1, 2, 2, 2 1p's, so that's 2p. And then you also have 2 50p's, which equals £1. So here we have 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8, so that's £8, and then 6p. So £8 and 6p. So you can just write this down like this, and that's your answer. Next is 11. So there are 52 playing cards in the deck, 4 of which are queens. What is the probability of pulling a queen from the deck? So 52 playing cards in the deck, then 4. So it's 4 out of 52. So let's simplify this. So 4 over 52. So how we can do this is we can also then do 52 and divide it by 4, which is 13. And then 4 divided by 4 is 1. So you have 1 over 13, which is the same as just saying 1 in 13. So 12. Georgina's job interview is at 1:45 and is scheduled to last half an hour, but it overruns by 19 minutes. What is the time when Georgina comes out of her job interview? So here we have 1:45 and is scheduled to last half an hour, but overruns by 19 minutes. So what we got to do is add half an hour first, which brings us to 2:15. Then you add 19 minutes, which will give us 2 and then 20, 30, 34. 2:34. Because you're just adding this time together. Next is 13. So change the order of the digits 4, 8, 7, 0 to make the highest number possible. So the biggest number. So our first number is going to be an 8. And there's only one option with that, which is E. So the answer to 13 is E. And then what is 2 cubed? So 2 cubed is the same as doing 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So this will be D. 15. 6 times something is 48. So this is then like doing like our times tables. And as we know, 6 times 8 is 48. So this is testing your times tables. Okay. Next is 16. So 16, a parcel contains 8 t-shirts, each weighing 150 grams, and then the padded envelope weighs 20 grams. How much does the parcel weigh in total? And this is in one parcel. So 8 t-shirts, each weighing 150 grams. So first we take out 150 grams and multiply it by 8. So 0 times 8 is 0, 5 times 8 is 40, 1 times 8 is 8, and then you add 12, and it gives us 12. So that's 1,200 there. So that's 1,200 grams. And then the padded envelope weighs 20 grams, so it's 1,220 grams, which is the equivalent of 1.22 kilograms, because 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So, yeah, 1.22 kilograms, so 16, that is A. For 17, which of the following is the rotation of C? So the rotation of C is going to have this L shape. This isn't an L shape. This is an L shape. D isn't an L shape. It's a reflection. It's an R, not an L. And then this is a T, so no. And that means that 17 is B. So this kind of question, you're just looking around and you're just repeating your method, really. Next is 3.9 minus 1.04. So here we can use our column method, and we'll subtract, which gives us 2.86. So 18 is 2.86. 19, what is the perimeter of the shape below? Well, we have 5, 5, 9, 9, and we can see this is going to be 9 as well, because these are equal length. So that means that it's 9 times 3, which is 27, and then 27 plus 5, or plus 10, because it's plus 5, and then you plus 5. So that gives us 37. And that means that 19 is going to be 37 centimetres. For 20, what is 30% of 75? Well, 10% is 7.5. 30% is 7.5 times 3, which is, 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. So it's 22.5. So that means that the answer to question 20 is E, 22.5. Let's move on to question 21. So maths section 2. It is Sunday the 14th of August and Devi's birthday is in 3 weeks and 2 days. When is Devi's birthday? So let's first find the number of days in August. So January has 31 days. February has 28 or 29 if it's leap year. March has 31. April has 30. May has 31. June has 30 and July has 31. August has 31 as well. So August is 31 days. Okay, so August has 31 days and it's the 14th, Sunday the 14th. So then you're adding on, well, if you're on the 14th, you can add 17 days to get to the end. So plus 2 weeks, which is 14 days. You then get to Sunday the 28th. And this is the process. So then we add on 3 days. Or if you go to the 1st of September. Yeah. 1st of September will be Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so yeah, 1st of September is there. We're adding on. Okay. I see. Okay, how are we going to do this? So we add 2 weeks and it gets us to Sunday the 28th. Now we add on 2 days, which brings us to the 30th of August, and then we have 1 more week to add. So we add on 1 day, it brings us to the 31st of August. 2 days will bring us to the 1st. So then 2 days equals 1st of September. Then on the 1st of September, we have 5 remaining days to add. So 1st of September plus 5 days equals 6th of September. So the answer to question 21 will be the 6th of September. 22. The shaded area marks the areas of a football pitch that have already been mown. What fraction of the pitch has yet to be mown? So the shaded areas have been mown, and which are yet to be mown. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 6 times 4, 24. So 16 out of 24 squares. We can divide both of these by 4. So divide by 4 to get 6 and 4, 4 over 6, which simplifies to, if you divide both by 2, 2 over 3. Which means that the answer to question 22 is going to be 2/3. 23. How many minutes are there in 3.75 hours? This is like doing 3.75 multiplied by 60. So how we can do this is 3.75. So first you can do 3 times 60, which is 180, and then you find 75%. 10% is going to be 6. 70% is, 6 times 7, which is 42. 5% is 3, so 75% is 45. So if you do 180 plus 45 is then 225. So 23 is 225. 24. What is the next number in the following sequence? So here we're doing -2, -4, -6, -8, -10 will give us 59. And you can see it's a difference of 2 between each of the differences. So 59 is A. 104 divided by 8. So here we're going to do the bus stop method. So how many 8's going to 10? 1, remainder 2. How many 8's going to 24? 3. So the answer is C, 13. 25 is C, and then 26. So here we have 78, and we have a straight line as well. So a straight line is 180 degrees. So all we have to do to find this angle is 180 minus 78. So our 88 becomes a 7, and we carry 1, and then 10 minus 8 is 2, 7 minus 7 is 0, and 1 minus 0 is 1. So the answer is 102 degrees, which means that the answer to question 26 is C, 102 degrees. Next is question 27. So how many more marshmallows did Karis eat the It seems as though seems as though we're missing a little bit of information with this one. Okay. How many more mushrooms? Yes. We're definitely missing some information. None of the previous questions spoke about marshmallows, and okay. Yes, so how many more marshmallows did Karis eat than Mohan? We can't answer this one because we don't have anything to find out how many more marshmallows Karis ate than Mohan. But okay. So okay. We got to skip that one then. So 28. Ruben gets his report card back and is rated 5 smiley points for effort and behaviour, here and here. Using decimal points, how many more smiley points does Ruben have for attendance? How many more smiley points does Ruben have for attendance than confidence? So we know that 5 smiley points is behaviour and effort, so attendance is 4 smiley points and confidence is 1.5 because it's 1 and then half. So 4 minus 1.5. We make the 4 a 3 and then carry 1, then 5 and 2. So it will be 2.5. So 28 is going to be D, 2.5. 29. The 500-piece puzzle is 72% complete. Here's the number of marshmallows. Okay, we'll go back to question 27. But anyway, the 500-piece puzzle is 72% complete. How many pieces still need to be placed? So 500 piece is 72% complete. So we're going to find, first we can do 100 minus 72, which is going to give us 28. So 28% is left to be done. 10% is 50, so 20% is 100, and then then we can find 1%, which is 5, and 8% is 40. So it's going to be 100 plus 40, which is 140. So the answer to question 29 is B, 140. Now I'll clear this out so that we can do the marshmallow question. So it's asking us, how many more marshmallows did Karis eat than Mohan? So Karis is here, Mohan is here. Mohan ate 8 marshmallows and Karis ate 12. So it'll be 12 minus 8, which is 4. So the answer to question 27 is B, 4. 30. What is this number in figures? So 80,937. So it'll look like that. 809. 8,000. So it's 8,937. So 8937. And that is A. So 8937. 8937. All right. 8937. Yeah, okay. 8937. Okay, cool. 31. So put the below lengths in order from shortest to longest. So what we got to do with this is put them all into the same unit. So we can see 2 are in centimetres and 2 are in kilometres. Okay, let's put them all into... let's put them all into centimetres. So we already have 3,000 centimetres and 0.3 centimetres. We know that 300 millimetres, there's 10 millimetres, is equal to 1 centimetre. So we just move the decimal place by 1 to the left. So it's going to be 30 centimetres here. Okay, just checking. Yes. Yeah. 0.3 kilometres is, we know that 1,000 metres is equal to 1 kilometre. So we have our 0.3, and this is going to be by 1, 2, 3, so 300 metres, and then we know that 100 centimetres is equal to 1 metre. So then this 300 is going to have its decimal place moved by 1, 2. So that's the equivalent of 30,000 centimetres. And then 30 kilometres. So 30 kilometres, we're going to move the decimal place by 5 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So That's the equivalent of 3 million. 3 million centimetres. So we know that first, so it's shortest to longest. So the shortest is going to be our 0.3 centimetres. So we can cross off A and C. And then the next shortest is going to be the 300 millimetres. So, yeah. And then after that, it's going to be 3,000 centimetres, which is D. So the answer to question 31 is D. 32. According to the Venn diagram below, how many children said that they had more than one of the dream careers shown below? So more than one is going to be 3 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2, which is equal to 10. So 32 is 10. B. 33. How many degrees clockwise does the oven dial need to be turned to set the oven to 250 degrees, which is here? So you're going 180 degrees, and then you're adding this extra bit here, which is 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the equivalent of, over 90 is like a quarter of 90. So that's like saying 90 over 4, which is 22.5. Oh my, not 90. Quarter of 180. 180 over 4. 4, 2, 5. So 45. You're going to then add your 180. So we can use column method for this. Okay, so that gives us the answer of 225 degrees. So 33 is A, 225 degrees. Next, something times 4 is 152, so what we're going to do is 152 and divide by 4, because it's the opposite, to give us our answer. So 4 times 3 is 12, remainder 3, and then 4 times 8 is 32. So the answer to question 34 is B, 38. Okay, next we have 35. So we have 2,890. What is the value of 8 in this number? Well, it's going to be 800. So 35 is B. 36. How many minutes are there in 4.5 hours? So 4.5 hours is, in 1 hour there's 60 minutes. So we're going to do 4 times 60, which is 240. And then half of an hour has 30 minutes. So then what we're going to do is 240, and then you add your 30, which is 270, and then 270 is the answer. So 36 is 270 minutes. 11 squared is the same as doing 11 times 11, which is 121. So the answer to question 37 is 121, which is D. 38. A board game is on sale. It was priced at £35 before the sale. How much does it cost after the reduction of 20%? Well, 10% is £3.50. 20% is then going to be £7. So 35 is then going to have minus 7, which is 28. So question 38 is £28 A. 39. The beaker holds a maximum of 240 millilitres. How much water would it be holding if it was holding 1/3 of its capacity? Well, that's like doing 240 divided by 3, because it's 1/3 of it. So you're finding 1/3 of it. So this is going to be 80. So 80 millilitres, which is D. So 39 is 80 millilitres D. Next, 15.8 plus 1.7, so we're going to use the column method. Here we have 8 plus 7, which is 15. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. So 17.5. So question 40 is A, 17.5. Next is MVR, and there's some examples. So here we have some series. So here we have a circle, and then a triangle is put inside, and then squares put inside, and then a hexagon is put inside. So we can expect a hexagon to be on the outside because the inner shape of the inner shape of the previous picture becomes the outer shape of the next one. So here the inner shape is a hexagon, so the outer shape of the next one will be a hexagon. So question 41 is E. Here our triangle is reflecting diagonally each time, so we expect it to face this way in the next question, and it has to be of the same angle, so not A, not B, C is at the wrong angle, D is at the wrong angle, so question 42 is E. 43, we have a reflecting shape, and we can see that a grey pentagon has also been added, and they're all following the same direction. So it's not A, not B, and then it's not going to be E because an extra pentagon must be added, and it must be facing downwards. So question 43 is going to be D. 44, we have a circle, and then it's a hexagon, pentagon, square, and then back to a hexagon. So what we can expect for question 44 is for it to then to go back to a pentagon, which means that 44 is going to be A. 45, so the black triangle is rotating 45 degrees clockwise each time. So we can expect it to be pointing towards the bottom left in our question, which means that 45 is going to be C. With this one, you can follow the strategy of looking for what's the most different point between your options. And you can see the triangle. Yeah, there's the position, which is different. Oh, not really. No, that's not really a changing factor. But 45 is going to be C. Next is question 46. So you go from 1 line to 2 to 3 to 4. So here we're going to have 5. So it's not A, not B, not C, not D, and it's E. So question 46 is E because it has 5 lines. 47. So 47 we have 1, 2, 3 lines and then the black pentagon. So 3 lines. Then we have 2, 1, and then okay. I see what's changing. It's the black. It's the area that's shaded in black. So what we have is the innermost area and then the second innermost area. Okay, I see. So question 47, we're going to expect it to then reset, essentially. But then the quadrilateral, or just thinking. Yeah, the quadrilateral should then be facing downwards. So it's not going to be A or D. And then we can expect the innermost area to be black, so it's going to be B. So question 47 is B. 48, so 48 we have these semicircles. So here we're looking at which semicircles are upturned. So here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's 1, 2, 3, then 2, then 1. So here we expect 0 upturned semicircles. So that will be for 48B, because all of them are like facing downwards, if you consider the round part to be where it's pointing. Next is 49. So let's look at the number of sides of each shape. Okay, this seems to be an alternating one. So we have 3, 6, 4, and then 8. Yep. So it goes 3 to 4, and then here we would expect 5. So this is an alternating series. So for question 49, this is going to be D, a pentagon. 50. So the direction of the arrow is rotating 45 degrees anti-clockwise each time. So it's going to be pointing this way. So it's not B, not D, and not E. And then star is moving from the top left to the top right each time. Yep, so it's going to be at the top right. Okay, and then the arrow is alternating sides each time, so we can expect it to be on the left. And then it's going to be pointing upwards. So for question 50, it'll be C. Next is question 51. So 51, here we have, okay, so our shape is rotating 45 degrees clockwise each time. So it's going to be pointing in this direction, meaning that it's not A, D, or E. And then we're looking at the pattern. So we can see that the pattern is essentially pushing the above patterns forward. So we can expect our stripes to be in the middle. The grey is going to be at the top. Yeah, and then white will be at the bottom. So that means that 51 is C, or at the base, at the biggest shape. Next is question 52. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes within ours. So we can expect one shape to be in the centre of our grey circle. So for 52, it's E. For 53, we have our shape moving from the bottom left to the bottom right to the top right to the top left. So it's going to be on the top left, so it's not A or B. And then we're looking at the pattern. So it goes white, checkered, white, and then we can assume checkered, and then white. Okay, now we have to identify the difference between D and E. So you can see that the squares which are black are different between the two shapes. Now, how we're going to decide which one it is by comparing it with the pattern on the other one. Oh, in fact, no, I've only just noticed. D isn't on the top left, it's centered. So that means that question 53 is E. Next is 54. So we have a plus sign and then multiplication, or you can say, well, they're both crosses, but then a rotated cross. So it's a plus and then an X, plus and then X, and then it's going to be a plus again. So it's not D or E. Then it's going to have what? 0. This is 0 black dots, 1 black dot, 2, 3. So we're going to have 4 here. That's the case in all of our options. And then it goes white, black, white, black. So it's going to be white, meaning that for question 54, our answer is A. Because there are white circles, it's a plus sign, and there are also 4 white circles. Next is then question 55. So you can see when they add lots of objects, it is often the case where they're trying to confuse you. It goes dotty, grey, dotty, and then grey. And then it's going to be dotty again. Now you can see between the two dotties, both of these are pentagons. So we can expect a dotty, so we can cross out B and C, but then it also has to be a pentagon. Each of our options are pentagons, and you can see because these, well, seemingly quadrilaterals, have this additional side here. So let's move on to the next part, which is the lines. So we can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines here. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can try to find 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it could be D. And then there's 3 lines in E. So that means for question 55, the answer will be D, because there's 6 lines and there's a dotty pentagon. Next is question 56. So 56, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black dots, 4 black dots, 3, 2, and then we'll have 1. So it's not A, B, or D. And then there's 1, 2, 3 white dots, 4 white dots, so we expect to have 5, which means it's not E. And for question 56, we're going to have C, because there's 1 black dot and then 5 white dots. Next is question 57. So here we have 2 arrowheads and 1 circle, 2 arrowheads and 1 circle. Okay, so we can expect to have 2 arrowheads and a circle, which is the case in all of our options. So we can see the arrow always remains pointing downwards, but then the arrow with the circle at the end and the arrowhead at the top rotates 45 degrees clockwise each time. So that leaves us with it pointing upwards. And with that, question 57 is going to be B, because the arrow is pointing upwards, and then we have the longer arrow just continuously pointing downwards. So 58, we can see that our shape is rotating 45 degrees clockwise each time, and it's going to be a white dotty one. So it's going to be pointing downwards, and it's going to be white dotty, so it's not black dotty. Then it's not going to be A, B, or E, which means that for question 58, it's going to be D. 59, we can see that the shape is pointing towards the right, then the left, the right, the left, and then it's going to be the right. So it's not C or E. And then we're looking at the star. So the star is always at the end point of our shape, which means that it's not A or B, which means that for question 59, the answer is going to be D. Then for 60, our striped lines or diagonal lines are going from the bottom left to the top right, then the top left to the bottom right, and then this is alternating, so it's going to be this way, going from the bottom left to the top right. So it's not B, and yeah, so it's not B. Next, our pentagon is rotating 90 degrees clockwise each time, so it's going to be pointing upwards with this point here. So that means that it's going to not be C, D, or E. And then question 60 is A. Okay, next, let's go on to 61. So this is analogy. Yeah, this is analogy. So we're seeing how this shape on the left, shape 1, becomes shape 2, then how our shape in our question is going to change in the same way. So we know that it's going to have to become dotted, a dotted line, and then it's also going to have to reflect. So with that, we're going to first look at dotted lines. So A isn't it because there's no dotted line, and neither is D. And then the star must be flipped over, so it's not B or C, which leaves us with 61 as E, because our star has been reflected on the x-axis, and then the inner shape is also the same, and it is grey. So question 62, we have a pentagon with 5 white circles, a rectangle with 4 black circles, then we have a square. So it's going to become a triangle because the number of sides reduces by 1, and then the number of circles is going to be 3, which is the case in all of our options. So what we're going to be looking at is the positioning of the circles. So first they have to be black, which is the case in all of them, but then you can see here the white circles are all at the corners or the vertices of our shape, whereas then the black circles are all on the lines of the shape. So our circles must be inside the triangle and also on the lines, which means that for 62 it's going to be D. Next, 63, so our shape rotates, not a rectangle, it's auto-correcting. So it's going to be reflecting in the x-axis, so it's going to be mirroring, which is the case in this, Then there's also going to be another trapezium there, which is going to be white, which means that 63 is C. For 64, so our oval is rotating 90 degrees, and we can't tell whether this is clockwise or anti-clockwise, but judging by the options, it's not going to be D or E, and it's going to be rotating 90 degrees clockwise. Then, the heart in the centre is also reflected in the x-axis, so it's going to be pointing downwards. We're going to have a white triangle, so 64 is going to be C. 65, so the square becomes the middle shape, the triangle becomes the inner shape, and the circle becomes the outer shape. So we can expect an outer oval, so it's not C. We can expect we can expect the hexagon to be in the middle, and then we can expect the rhombus, or the rotated square, to then be in the inner shape. So we can, so that means that it's not going to be A because it's rotated, nor will it be B or E. So question 65 is going to be D because the hexagon hasn't rotated in this. So question 66. So our shape is going to be reflecting. So it's going to look like this. So it's not B. And then our shape will overlap the arrow, and the arrow will now point upwards. So it will look like this. It's not going to have a double arrowhead. So it's not A, not C, and not D, which means that question 66 is E. 67, so our arrow is now pointing, it's been rotated 90 degrees clockwise. So we can expect our rectangle to also be rotated 90 degrees clockwise, so it will look like this. So it's not A. And then our pentagons will become squares or four-sided shapes, because here they went from rectangles to triangles, so the number of sides of the shape is reducing by 1, and then they'll also become grey, so it's not C or E. There are 3 rectangles, and that becomes 3 triangles, so the 3 pentagons will become 3 rectangles. So question 67 is B. In 68, our shape is reflecting, so all of these crescent moons have reflected in the right direction, and then the star is also going to move towards the bottom, here, which means that it's not A or B, and then the outer line remains thick, and then the inner line, then an inner dotted line is added, which means that question 68 is D. For 69, our 5 pentagons, 4 of them reflect in the x-axis, and then the inner shape remains the same. So we can expect, first let's look at the inner shape. It must remain the same, so it's not B. And then the 4 outer triangles must all be facing downwards. Our top left and bottom right pentagons, triangles in our case, must become grey, which means that the answer to question 69 is going to be C. Next is 70. So the shape is rotating 90 degrees anti-clockwise, which means that the answer is going to have this N shape here. Is going to have a square here, triangle here, and then square here, and then the line. So that means that for question 70, the answer is going to be, these change. So the center is going to have a square, and then the outer parts are going to have triangles. Yes. So the triangles can face either way, so it's not A or B, and then it's just going to have a square in the middle. So that means that for question 70, the answer is D. Next is question 71. So for 71, here we can see that it's a reflection, and then the grey becomes black. Okay, it's a reflection in the y-axis, and then a reflection in the x-axis. So what we can expect is for our black line to be here, on the, the black line will be on the right, so it's not A or B. We can expect the let's have a look. Well, you could also call this a rotation by 180 degrees, actually. So we would expect it to have black in the top left, but then this needs to grey, so no. And same with E, which means that question 71 is going to be D, because it's a rotation 180 degrees. Here our parallelogram remains as the parallelogram, so our cross will remain as a cross. The right part of the shape that's been cut out will remain white, but then the rest becomes black. So we can expect this to remain white, and then the rest will become black. So it's not A, B, C, or D. So question 72 is E. Question 73 is a reflection in the y-axis. So we're just looking for that exact same analogy, not an arrow, just a line. Now, so it's going to look like this, meaning that it's not A, not B, not D or E. So question 73 is going to be C. 74 is a reflection as well. Yep, it's a reflection, which means that question 74 is going to be, and this is all just about looking, not A, not B, yes, C, but then just confirming, not D and not E, because the lines are too short and long. And here the steps essentially are wrong as well. So 74 is C. 75 is, well, the arrows are changing. So they're moving by one position. So we can expect one arrow, not pointing downwards, but one arrow on the right pointing upwards and one arrow on the left pointing downwards. So it's not A, C, or D. So let's look at the squares on the inside. We can see that their position will change. So there'll be one at the top left, one at the bottom right. The one in the top left will be white, and then the one in the bottom right will be, the one in the top left will be black, and the one in the bottom right will be, we can also already cancel this out. And then the one in the top left is black, and the one in the bottom right is white. So it's 76 to 80. So here we have a reflection in the x-axis, and then all of the black shapes become white. Yes, it's yeah. So that's what's happening. So we can expect this arrow to be at the top left. So it's not A, C, D, or E, which means that the answer to question 76 is B. 77, our hexagon has the triangle flipped into it, and then the triangle becomes white, and then the rest of the hexagon becomes grey. So it's the same thing. We're going to have a circle, and then the triangle, the round two-sided shape is going, or three-sided shape is going to flip inwards like this. And it's also going to enlarge. So it's not A, B, D, or E. So question 77 is C. 78, the grey moves towards the top. which is the case in all of our options, and then the arrow also rotates 90 degrees clockwise, which means that it's not going to be B, C, D, or E, because it has to rotate 90 degrees clockwise, which means that question 78 is going to be A. In 79, it's a reflection, and then the... The spark, essentially, will remain white, and then the white area will become black, and then the black area will become... the black area will become white, and then the outer line will become a thick border. So it's not A, B, D, or E, which leaves us with question 79 as C. In 80, it's a reflection on the x-axis. The black dot remains black, so we can expect our shape to look like this. So it's not C or D, and yeah, we're going to have a black dot. Oh no, we're going to have a white dot at the top. White dot at the top, so it's not A. And everything else has a colour change. So the colour changes look like they're reflected on the y-axis. So the black dots and ovals will become white, and the white one will become black. And that leads us to our answer for question 80 being E.